Are we live? Yeah. And you're recording? Yeah. All right, everybody, welcome to the Crypto Show. Chuck Williams here with the Crypto Show, broadcasting. Well, actually, we are broadcasting on Facebook Live from Anarchapulco 2019. Here we have Jeff and Nick from the Divi Project. Why don't you guys take a moment to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, my name is Nick Saponaro. I'm the Chief Information Officer at the Divi Project.
I'm Jeff McCabe. I'm the CEO.
Right on. Well, welcome to the show, guys. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the Divi Project? First off, wait a minute. Did I hear that this was a Dash fork?
Well, it's a Pivx fork, which was
okay.
a fork of Dash.
Fork of a fork.
Which was a fork of Bitcoin.
Right. Indeed. All right.
Which is a fork of the dollar.
And very briefly summarize the purpose and goals of Divi.
It's a cryptocurrency aimed at accessibility, usability, making it easy to store, earn, and transact cryptocurrency. We built the first truly one-click masternode deployment software, and that's garnered a lot of attention from our community.
I think it's traded on a few decentralized exchanges, and
yeah, we're on a couple DEXs. We're on a couple regular centralized exchanges as well.
Okay, cool. So very briefly, what are you guys planning on doing? Why are you here? Are you guys presenting? Was there anything going on here at Anarchapulco other than just your presence?
We're not presenting, but I think we just thought Anarchapulco sounded really cool to go to.
We also Anarchapulco is my project, where it's a pig roast after the conference.
Right.
Yeah, and I live in Costa Rica, and there's only so many days that I can spend in the United States to avoid paying taxes. So this is for me going to Mexico. I could avoid racking up
You're
days.
a tax avoider?
It's legal
evasion. Avoision?
Yeah, it's the expat thing.
Okay.
We also we helped out the Marsh Children's Home here. We donated some computers.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did hear Danny's been trying to get
That's
a bunch
been my
of people.
project for 3 years now. So
Yeah.
Every year that we've been here doing some stuff.
Thank you so much for contributing.
Yeah,
It was our pleasure.
It's been really good. And hopefully, if people are listening and maybe we can get the word out, before we leave, maybe we can take in some donations and get some needed stuff over there as well. Usually rice, beans, cooking oils, laundry detergent. These are big things that they tend to need over there. So,
is there any way that people can contribute online?
Nah, I mean, I think you can, but if they want to just come by and maybe we set up a donation thing, if we take in enough funds, just go and get them some groceries. We'll go to Walmart and drive over there and spend the day and have some fun with those kids and bring them some stuff they need, you know?
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much. I know that Danny's, that's all kinds of charitable organizations like that, especially, for the kids, Danny's got a soft place for, and it's hard for that. And
it was definitely a big deal for me as well to be able to show the kids some like coding fundamentals and things like that. I think, coding is a transferable skill. You can take that anywhere.
Yeah.
And
if they can start to get that entrepreneurial
and
mindset now.
The family structure they have over there is pretty good. Like you would think it's not a normal family or whatever, a bad family, but no, actually it's probably better than just about any family home you've ever been in. Like a normal family unit. No.
Yeah.
Theirs works very, very well. Like just the older kids are helping to take care of the younger kids, and then the younger kids are taking care of the ones younger than them, and they just all have a place and they work like a machine and they're very tight knit. It's
good.
Really inspiring.
Sounds like kind of delegated care to the degree that they're able.
Yeah, and you have one lead kid who's kind of really techie. He understands tech real well, and I introduced you to him.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Emilio,
he put together.
Want to teach everybody else, go to Emilio, show him, and then he shows everybody else.
Nice.
He put together this like R2D2 like robot thing without the instructions, and then like we open the app and all the instructions are going by, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've already done that."
He figured it all out. Wow,
okay.
Nice.
Awesome.
Okay, so he's intuitive like that.
Yeah.
So why Anarchapulco? Why are you guys here supporting this weird, crazy movement? What's that about? Where's that coming from?
I think since I was a kid, I've kind of had questions about what we've been told, and I mean, crypto is a perfect analog or ancillary product to go along with anarchy. I think it's definitely a liberating, thing that we can liberate ourselves from banks and centralized powers. So I think it all goes hand in hand. I've definitely spent a fair amount of time in the crypto track, but there's been some amazing speakers on the main stage. David Icke.
Yeah. Yeah, he did a 4-hour set
Something
yesterday.
else. Yeah, that
Did you
was
sit
crazy.
through the whole thing?
No, I only caught the last like 2 hours of it.
That might have been enough to
Yeah,
blow anybody's
I think
mind.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Jeff?
You know, we had a really interesting experience with the kids because somebody brought and donated a Kindle Fire, and we were trying to get the app for this R2D2 robot to work. And in order to do that, you had to sign up basically
Amazon
on this
account.
thing with the Amazon account. And so we tried to do that, but they wouldn't let us do it without an email account. So we tried to create a Gmail account. I spent 15 minutes trying to create a Gmail account. Nobody's phones would work. We tried a whole bunch of different people's phone numbers. It kept saying, oh, you can't. This is already being used. Finally, I found somebody that hadn't used their phone number. And then we found that it wouldn't accept it because it was a U.S. phone number. And I was like, oh, my God, what a incredible experience explaining why we really need decentralization and need to get rid of these companies. I mean, it's, you know, free is not really free. You know?
Yeah, that's always been a challenge with me with those kinds of centralized products where there's overly much control that restricts you from doing, I guess, what would be called an edge case. I mean, yeah, they probably don't. That's not the happy path that was designed for, where it ends up, you know, going through consumer hands and then being handed off to an orphanage where now they need this, you know, or they would like to be able to use this device and they can't because, you know, of the restrictions placed upon at the software/hardware level. It's kind of a mess.
Yeah.
It is. It's more of a mess, I think, in crypto, though. The user experience is, I would say, one of the biggest things holding us back.
Yeah,
an
I would
industry.
agree. And that, as a UI UX professional, I would definitely agree with that. And that's one of
So
the
it's
things
you're saying it's your fault.
Yeah, it's totally my fault. I can tell you stories about how we tried to build things inside of Dash, and I think they're making strides, but the challenge I think that's happening, and I was actually just reading an article about this this morning, where essentially
is this the Chiefs and Indians effect?
No,
Too many Chiefs, not enough Indians?
it's more of a systemic kind of thing. Like bubbles happen whenever new technology comes out. Essentially, going all the way back, like any new technology, steel, the steam engine. You know, the Industrial Revolution, you know, all kinds of medical breakthroughs. Whenever there's new technology, there's an investment boom that follows that, and that's a bubble. It's a bubble that has always happened when new technology comes out, and that crash is usually followed by investment, or that bubble is kind of necessary. Is what was being discussed in the article, and I'm sorry I don't remember the author's name, but essentially there's a two-stage process that happens after that bubble that will then recognize it as an established technology that then will grow into perpetuity and change the whole economy. And I think the two pieces that we need to look out for in the cryptocurrency industry especially is infrastructure upgrades that are systemic in nature, which are kind of being built right now, I think, but also those infrastructure upgrades are easy to use. And I think that's what you guys are you guys are kind of spearheading a little bit of that with the one-click masternodes, right? Like that's one, you guys are like, you're focused, you're honing in on this. Did you guys have any other similar kinds of features on the roadmap?
So basically that was basically a tech demo to kind of show that we're serious about solving a tough problem and that our team can do it, because nobody had done this 500 masternode coins, and several others claimed they were going to do it, and then they delivered 20-click solutions. Even while calling it a one-click solution. So we wanted to show that we could actually do it, because what we're doing is a complete ecosystem that has a whole bunch of different sort of rungs on the ladder up to this mass adoption idea that have to be solved all at once for average people to be able to get into crypto. So you need all of them, really, for people to want to be able to use it.
Nick, have you guys moved forward any on the idea that we kind of shared in Miami about giving dividends to other masternode owners to try to draw them in, or what?
Yeah, so we're working on building out a framework right now so that we can start to add other masternode coins directly to our wallet, our desktop smart wallet. The first one is actually going to be
Dash.
Of
course, it should be.
As it should be, paying homage to, of course,
and there's a lot of upgrades coming too. I think they're going to like what's coming in the 13.0, 13.1. Yeah, there's some great stuff coming with that. That's going to enable, I think, a lot of this.
Yeah, and so in that, we have been considering doing creating utility with the Divi coin, as a reward for, using the Divi one-click solution rather than going through
kind of the idea basically that we had was that if you opened a masternode, say with Dash, Smart Cash, whatever, you would also receive a small pittance of Divi coins just for using their platform so that they could disperse the supply of Divi coins more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, people love airdrops.
Yeah, right. They sure do.
People love airdrops, and they'll open a wallet for that.
I turned a faucet on one of our exchanges yesterday, and I was allowing people to get 10 free Divi once a day indefinitely, and I put 10,000 Divi in the faucet. It was gone within an hour.
Oh my god!
We're like,
somebody
oh,
had some
that'll probably
bots.
last a month,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
We thought, now it was gone immediately.
You get a few people with some bots, and they do these click through macros
Yeah.
and all this stuff. It's hard to manage that stuff. This is the kind of stuff that we kind of need, I think, is this dispersion. I call it the fractalization of niches. You're going to have, you guys are going to serve some kind of market, right? Some kind of people who are going to be attracted to your platform, attracted to your system. And I think the more cross-pollination we have, the better, because that's going to create an interwoven kind of network of these niches with specialized nodes of functionality. And you can have a whole community of Dash and a whole community of Divi. But right now, this is one of the things that I think that gets into the freedom and the whys of what we're doing is, I think, kind of financial freedom. And I think we're going to see a lot of this kind of cross-pollination. I think that the future does not belong to one coin.
I agree.
I think that there's going to be many coins and that they're going to serve many niches, and the more the better. And I think there are a lot of people who agree with me, but there are a lot of people that vehemently disagree with me. But where are you guys on this spectrum?
I think we're much aligned with your way of thinking, and that's why we're building out interoperability solutions into our blockchain. We're about to do our first hard fork to implement Lightning and atomic swaps, and we'll be building out technologies that make it very simple to exchange whichever crypto asset,
with the goal being simplicity and accessibility for anybody who wants to do peer-to-peer transactions.
Yeah, and I've seen the decentralized exchanges that exist today. While they solve the issue of not exposing your private key, they're really difficult to use, and there's still an issue with user experience there. If we want to see, you don't see great adoption of decentralized exchanges yet.
Yeah, I think what we need in that area, somebody's going to come out with a decentralized exchange that's easy to spin up, that works well, that handles the transaction levels.
So here's a good example of how we're implementing a DEX. We have a partner now that's over the last few days have been sort of coding the first version of this, and we're always looking for what we call one-click and no-click solutions. So, for example, if somebody's using the Divi wallet, they use the Divi wallet, but they want Dash, they can specify their wallet to accept only Dash, but other people can pay them in Bitcoin. And it's a no-click solution in that the money comes in, and in the background it goes through the DEX and comes back and swaps out basically automatically.
Oh, that's interesting. So that sounds like an exciting thing. Like, yeah, we definitely need that.
So there's a waiting period though, based on liquidity, or
I was going to ask about liquidity. Right. Like, have you guys thought about that?
That's up to make sure that we have good DEX partners that have the liquidity to make that happen.
Right.
Otherwise, it'll sit for a while.
Well, and that's why I think we need these network of DEXs. Like, there has to be some kind of in between the DEXs, right? Some kind of arbitrage between the DEXs where you can create that liquidity and move things around.
Yeah, and atomic swaps can help with that.
Yeah.
And I mean, those things exist in the traditional markets already, right? So why wouldn't they exist in crypto? I think bodies of enterprises need to start coming to the forefront and saying, okay, we'll be that intermediary and we'll facilitate market making, not wash trading. Not just buying and selling from a bot, but actually making a market, because liquidity is probably the biggest issue, whether as a trader or just an investor, as a hodler. People want to take their profits and they can't.
Well, and this is, I think, one of those log jams of the infrastructure problem that I was referring to earlier, where we need some kind of infrastructure solution that's easy to implement, easy to turn up, easy to use, or even automatic, like one-click, no-click solution where it's automatically you've got all the liquidity you need. If it's out there, it's out there. If it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. It's just scarce, right? That's just something that's going to happen to some of these coins. They're going to get more scarce and they're going to go up in price because they're in demand for whatever reason. And that's kind of part of this grand experiment. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Well, I use a term called holdability, where basically, if you think about in the future, imagine 2 or 3 years from now, and atomic swaps or very universal, and it's very, very easy at any time with one-click solutions, either in the Divi wallet or any other, to swap your coin out. Right now, you have to go and load up an exchange. You have to make sure your coin's over there. Then you have to go through the process. So there's this friction that stops stops you from easily getting into a different coin, right? So what we're doing is making that incredibly easy or even automatic. So you could say, I want all my holding to be, say, 50% in Tether, 25% in Bitcoin, and then 3 or 4 of my other favorite coins. And if somebody pays you on Dash, it'll automatically go through the DEX and divvy this up into the different types of coins and then hold in those. So the idea of holdability is, what reason does somebody have to hold a coin in the future? When you're living in an ecosystem of crypto where everything's really easy to get in and out of, really easy, why would anybody hold anything, right?
Yeah.
So people need reasons to hold them, and that's kind of what we've done with Divi, is we give a whole bunch of reasons to hold it that other coins don't have. Like right now, people think about maybe Tether because it's really stable, it's a stable coin, but then you don't get any gain. So maybe people go into Bitcoin because they feel like that's stable, but also probably going to go up. But then there's masternode coins, and there's coins that are for staking, and they're going to be gaining you more money. And like with Divi, I think we're the only project that has a lottery block. So once a week we have a lottery. Anybody that's staking gets tickets every time they win a stake, and so you can get a big chunk of extra Divi at the end of the week when that happens. So we have a whole bunch of what these sort of holdability functions that make it Divi a kind of coin that people are going to want to hold on to and swap out of.
Is there a cap on Divi? I was doing a little research not too long ago, and I was wondering, so there's this lottery instance that happens. How frequently is that? Weekly, yeah. So there's this lottery that happens. One staker gets a certain amount, a big chunk of Divi every week, and this is happening. I don't know. I assumed into perpetuity.
Yeah. So it's every week. It's a part of a super block, basically, that we get one person that gets a big chunk, and then 10 people that get a tenth of all of that. So there's 11 winners, one big one and 10 small ones.
Okay.
And it's really fun. Like our community, every week they're all getting all excited. They're always doing this countdown of.
Yeah, people have built apps to track like when the next lottery.
Oh,
is.
that's cool.
Yes.
So you got a fan base out there.
A little bit, yeah.
That's kind of watching the thing, and So I am interested in how this one experiment will go among this grand experiment, and we kind of all align in this space of like financial freedom and personal freedom, and you guys are here at Anarchapulco to connect, to be a part of the family. How is that going for you? Are you making the kind of connections?
I think I've met so many new friends here. Mm-hmm. It's been amazing, incredible.
It's very different than the other crypto conferences that we've been to. This is much better. I mean, it's really a thing. This is an experience. And while others are shrinking, this one's doubled this year, right?
Right.
I think so, yeah. And that's one of the reasons that my wife and we don't go to very many conferences together because, most of them, very few of them cater to both of us. And here we meet a lot of people that are family, that we consider family. We see people, throughout the year at other conferences, but everybody seems to be here. All the people that we are most connected with, that we most care about, that we most respect, they seem to congregate here. And this is, I think this is kind of a hub of a movement.
It is.
What do you guys anticipate going forward? Were you guys at previous Anarchapulcos, or is this your first one?
No, this is both of our first ones.
Okay.
And it's nice to be around a lot of like-minded individuals and not have to explain yourself or debate as much. But the debates that you do have are so intelligent and backed by real facts and thoughts. Cognition.
You come to Anarchapulco, people, you learn stuff.
You do.
You really do.
Your perspective on things can change, which is really nice as long as you keep an open mind.
Yeah.
The first thing you need to learn is don't drink the water.
Yeah. Yeah, bottled only.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, or filtered if it's good. I got a Berkey filter. It does pretty well.
I was a kid. I spent a lot of time in Mexico as a kid, so I can drink the water.
Oh yeah, you're immune to it. That's right. You're living in Costa Rica.
Yeah. No, we have good water in Costa Rica, though.
Yeah, I would imagine. So what's next going forward for you guys? I mean, not just from a project perspective, but like, what do you guys think of? So let's just talk big picture stuff for a minute. What do you guys think of this current bear market?
It is a bear market by economic standards, but to me, I see it as a building period.
Mm-hmm.
obviously a lot of projects are either dying or restructuring, which is good.
Yeah.
People were wildly overspending on marketing and staffing and stuff like that, and it's good to restructure based on financial strain.
Yeah, we didn't get that much money during our ICO, which now I look at as a strategic advantage in a way, and that we have always been really lean. They've always been penny pinchers.
You watch too much Silicon Valley.
These people, a lot of these things with $15 million, some of them are out of business, and we got a tenth of that.
Right.
So
you had to make it work.
It is shocking to see how irresponsible some of these projects were with the funds they raised. Especially, I think, because it's not really other people's money once you raise it in an ICO. Whereas, like, if you raised a regular private seed round or something like that, you're tied to those people, Yeah. And but
come on, Remedy Coin's awesome.
These projects have to die out so we can move forward as an industry. You guys go to a lot of these crypto conferences just like me, and you see that the attendance is lower at a lot of them, but you're starting to see the people that are really in crypto for the technology.
The quantity is down, but the quality is up.
Correct.
Right.
In
attendance.
And that's important.
I think this is just the beginning too of sort of the bubble bursting of lots and lots of news reports of these things going out of business and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So recent news. Like, what do you guys think of the JP Morgan coin? Any thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's hilarious.
I got in on the ICO.
I mean, of course, all of us have this knee-jerk reaction without even reading about it yet. So I don't actually want to comment because I haven't looked at the technology behind it or what they're really claiming it can do and this kind of thing. But of course, my instant negative reaction to it. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad it's happening. Like when Facebook was doing their WhatsApp token, I was like, people were asking me, "Are you scared that it's going to put Diddy out of business?" Facebook. And I was like, no, that's great because they're legitimizing crypto in the eyes of the masses. And right now, the mass media is doing everything it can to illegitimize crypto.
Yeah.
So with Facebook and JP Morgan, I think that just helps us. Those coins are going to be uncool. People aren't going to use those. They're going to use things like Divi and Dash.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they're not really decentralized cryptocurrencies.
I want to take it back kind of to the beginning. So you guys donated computers and some time to teach these kids about it. Is this something you want to look more into? Do you want to do this some more?
Yes, definitely. I mean,
okay. Jason King with Kingsland University, the whole training blockchain people. He's trying to put together some coding for kids types thing. So I would say reach out to Jason if you want to offer up maybe or find a way of working with them for coding with kids.
Definitely, if you can put me in touch, I'd be happy to do it.
And I think we're happy to make this a yearly thing where every year Divi will sort of sponsor the coding for kids and bring a bunch of computers. We can spend more time raising money for it. And we have this 5-tiered masternode program. Like Dash is too expensive to get a masternode for most people. We have 5 different tiers at different levels. So I think we can probably donate a masternode.
The masternode I got, I don't know when they're going to give me my kids back for. I had to sell one of my kids. Yeah, and a kidney.
Nice. Well, that sounds great. I think we should talk to them about. I don't know if can we get them on as advertisers or something. Maybe give them a discount.
Who?
Well, both Divi and Kingsland. Anybody who would be willing to contribute in that way.
Yeah, we'll be talking to them. But sure, yeah.
One of the things that we can do is we can donate a masternode, right? And ours are really easy to set up, and so it's a good way for kids to learn about crypto because it can actually just be generating more all the time.
Did we go over the different levels of masternodes and what they cost and what their functions?
None of the details.
No, I don't think we have.
Do you guys want to talk about that?
Because those are you guys have a super node and a regular node and all that. Right?
Yeah, I'm curious about the differences. I didn't in my research. I didn't get that far. I saw that you had the tiers, but why would I get at any level of the tiers? Is it just about the money, or do I get extra privileges?
A lot of people think it's kind of a gimmick, because we've got these names. We've got copper, silver, gold, then platinum and diamond, right? So to some extent, it's sort of gamification. I actually invented the idea and. I actually invented it to solve a really important problem, which is that I wanted to be able to give high awards in the beginning to help build our network. And people say, wow, I should buy this coin because, like the first year it's 60%. And people say, oh, that's going to be a problem because it's going to be generating all these rewards and people are just going to sell them. And it's going to drive the price through the ground. And I thought, well, so what can I do to make people want to hold onto their coins instead of selling them and affecting the price? And so that's where I came up with this idea. Okay, let's gamify it so there's another level. And that's exactly what's happening. Everybody that has a copper, they can't wait to have a silver. And if you have a silver, you can't wait to have a gold. And so people are not selling their rewards. We have a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction, maybe the tiniest in crypto of our overall coins that are on the exchanges, because people are really wanting to hold on to them to get to the next level.
Do you know what percent are in masternodes right now?
It's over 51%.
Okay.
And the amount on exchanges was like 0.2% of the total coins.
Really?
It was so little. It was
Because we have
crazy.
staking as well. You can stake with as little as 10,000.
How many are
divvies,
staked?
so-
Do you know that percent?
I think that's hard to really quantify because
Is
the master nodes are registered with their IP, right? So you can actually see how many there are.
Okay.
We could kind of try to break it down to wallets holding 10,000, but you don't really know if they're staking.
I see.
It's pretty complex, but we know that there's probably more than 70% of all the coins being held either staking or just holding or in masternodes because there's so few on the exchanges.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I remember I saw another coin bragging that only 2% of their coins were on exchanges, and ours is a tenth of that.
Yeah.
But that shows you how much people that are in Divi that know about it want to hold on to it.
Yeah, I feel like right now a lot of the cryptocurrency like holdings out there is it's almost like a tournament style winner take all kind of thing. Like Bitcoin has the majority. It's still there's still a Bitcoin dominance rating, right, in the market cap. Mm-hmm. And I don't like to get into like the whole market capital. I think it's a joke, honestly. I think that any measure of the market capitalization is really, it's just overinflated and just wrong. It doesn't accurately account for actual usage, humans using the stuff. I'd be willing to bet that all of the Bitcoin actual users who use Bitcoin on any regular basis added up together do not account for all the other coins to the same level of dominance that they have in the financial market. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There's not a comparative factor there. Not over 50% of cryptocurrency users are exclusively using Bitcoin to do what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
We're going to have a little mower in the background here.
Mower down.
Where was I? Oh, yeah. So you got the gold, silver, copper.
Yeah, and then diamond.
And diamond.
And platinum.
Is the big one.
And platinum.
For a while, our diamond node was the most valuable node, master node in the world.
Yeah.
Really?
During the bull run, it was more expensive than a Dash node.
Wow. Holy cow.
We should have done a whole video about that, I didn't even really notice at the time. I thought about it later on. I was like, wow, it was like $200,000 for
yeah, something crazy.
whatever it was. At the time, Dash was like $100,000.
Crazy. Wow. And so now, I think last I looked, one divvy was like a nickel. Is that?
Not even. I think it's like 3 cents. Or
3 cents.
like that.
Okay. Yeah. So it's
or
fluctuating.
0.003 hundredths of a cent. I guess,
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. And there's
0.3 cents.
right on. Right on. So you can get a bunch of divvy. And what's the lowest level? Like if I wanted to buy a master node, like in dollar terms, like what would it take to?
It's like $200 right now. $230. Yeah, because you need 100,000 divvy.
Okay.
To run the lowest tier. So yeah, at 23 hundredths of a cent or whatever, it's $230.
How much can I get with this Trump dollar?
Oof. That's a whole different radio show.
You're asking for a donation now.
No.
All right. So, well, did you guys how can people get in touch with you before we depart?
Definitely find us on Telegram. It's just t.me/Divi Project or at Divi Project on Twitter.
Divi Project, one word.
All one word,
Okay.
DIVI Project. And you can find everything else through there. You know, our pinned message has all the links you'll ever need to start learning about Divi.
There's a YouTube channel. I actually subscribe to it.
Nice.
See what you guys do with it.
That's cool. Yeah, we haven't been putting many videos out recently, but probably start up again soon.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it takes time and money to put together a well-produced video. And
exactly.
You probably want to
We have a really great community. They're real fanatics too.
Yeah.
They love us, and they're really warm about welcoming new people, answering questions and stuff.
By
and
far the most mature.
on Telegram.
On
Or-
Telegram,
okay.
yeah.
yeah, we just anybody that's
So
a,
you're
a
just
jerk.
like you guys are just like Monero then.
Would you guys consider Monero warm? A warm community?
Warm and
I
fuzzy.
don't
don't
know
know.
if I'd use that word, but
No, we run out all the jerks, and we don't.
Do
Want, we don't want to make any of those people
I mean,
rich.
we greet, if you want to call them fudsters or whatever, with answers.
Uh-huh.
People that are being aggressive or trying to say something, 9 times out of 10, they're just asking a question in disguise. If you answer the question, you can actually turn a lot of those people into fans.
Oh, interesting.
So
Right.
some of them are just fudsters, but
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I love tough questions. Tough questions make us better, and I welcome that. I love that. People try to stump us, or they say, "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that?" We have good answers for everything, but
Yeah.
people are just coming to cause trouble, just trolling us.
What's
Get rid of
the
'em.
toughest question you recall in recent memory, and how did you answer it?
Why did you start a cryptocurrency?
Yeah,
Nick can explain that.
that's
Yeah.
a hard one.
What can I do with it? Where can I spend it?
Yeah, spend it.
How many merchants are accepting this?
I'm tired of that question.
Yeah, that's a tough question, and it's kind of I kind of roll my eyes when I hear that. I'm like, well, we're not even trying to get merchants at this
Yeah.
point because we're creating a user friendly ecosystem. We don't have it yet, so why try to get these people to use Divi when it's not ready?
Yeah.
Right now, it's not really easy. Setting up a master node is really easy, but everything else is like using Bitcoin. So
Yeah.
it's fast. It's a little faster. It's like Dash, but
Yeah, it seems to me like right now, I mean, we are in a build phase. I agree with that. Like right now, we're not going after merchants, even though there are merchants that are adopting. I think that should just be an organic kind of process right now.
Totally.
Until it's very much easier. We're not ready for mass adoption. I
No.
mean, a lot of these.
Have you played with the Lightning Pizza app?
No.
Dude,
Are you talking about by Fold?
I guess that's who it's by.
That's a total ripoff of Classic Crust Pizza in Phoenix, Arizona. This guy Alex built that app several, maybe 2 years ago. Or
Wow.
it's called Lightning Pizza Beer, and it's just you just open it up and there's a picture of a lightning bolt, pizza, and a beer mug. And if you want to use Lightning, you push that. If you want to buy pizza, and then pop up, what do you want? What kind of pizza you want?
Yeah.
It's just this very, very simple app. And then I seen Fold using like just exact same icons. They're putting
They
this
probably
out.
just forked it.
So I sent them a message like, "Wow, this is really cool. What did you do? Steal it from Classic Crust?"
Oh, man. I think the problem, though, is these apps assume that you already know everything about Lightning and Bitcoin and all this stuff.
Yes.
And by the time, like use the Domino's app. It takes you through each step of the process as
Right.
if you've never ordered pizza in your life.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how, I mean, you're a UX guy.
Yes,
You
and
know-
this is you're explaining. You're tapping into the biggest problem in our industry, which is that technologists think that there is a technology solution for everything,
Yeah.
and on some level, that's true.
Sure.
But you still have to make it easy for people who are not technologists to use,
Right.
and you don't chant education is the answer. These
Right.
people need to be taught.
Yeah, you expect them to
Please shut up.
Why would they? They're busy people, right? They're regular people.
Yeah.
They're gonna read every blog post you put
Yeah.
out.
Right?
They're
wanna
gonna read
use-
every
you wanna
piece
use-
of documentation.
yeah, you want to use our app? Go read our white paper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right? No.
Does Venmo make you read their white paper before you send money to your friends? Like,
Exactly.
it just makes sense. You
This-
pick your friend's name and you send
I
them
think there's a lot of arrogance in crypto, and we're trying to get rid of that and really humanize the whole thing.
I did a panel in Norway, and we were just kind of going down the line, and I was asking each person, why crypto, why your project, why this project. I got to the guy at the very end. It was the Monero guy. I said, why Monero? And he said fungibility, and dropped the mic. Like, oh, okay,
Oh,
whatever.
Yeah, everybody's got their big belief that represents their value, and that's why I say
Yeah.
all value is belief, and
Corned
it's
beef.
what you believe in.
Corned beef.
Corned beef. You always keep correcting me. Yes, you're right. But it is true. Like I keep chanting that because everybody has a belief, right? You guys, all your fans, right? They believe in the Divi project for some reason. Maybe it did something for them. Maybe it charged them. Maybe they love the gamification. Maybe they love the levels. Maybe they are trying to get up that ladder and do get that bigger master node. And I've been chasing a master node forever with Dash. I don't know how long it's going to take for me to get all the way there and to purchase my own, but it's going to be, who knows, but I keep working in the industry, and I'm a Dash promoter just because I love the coin. I love the purpose. I love the reason. I love the freedom. I love the peer-to-peer. I love,
Be honest, you're a Dash shill.
I am a Dash shill as much as I
Okay.
can be, but
Me
I don't
too.
want to be in people's faces with it. I mean, the Dash Masternode Network, they fund part of our show,
I did not notice that you were trying to be in my face with it. That's the biggest D on anyone's chest I've ever seen.
We love Dash. People always ask like, "Oh, well, who are your competitors? What about Dash? What are you gonna do about Dash?" People ask us this stuff,
Yeah.
and we're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we're gonna put Dash in our wallet. That's what we're gonna do."
Right? Yeah. See the collaboration.
interoperability and
That's
collaborative.
that's the best way, and I think there is good historical precedent for this. I mean, the Silk Road was called the Silk Road for a reason, not because one vendor owned the whole Silk Road, because there were many, many, many different vendors who had many different silk prints and presses and qualities and techniques and styles and all this kind of stuff. And you could go along and you can pick them all up, and then you can sell them back in Europe where they didn't have the Silk Road, right? And that's what it's all about.
You get much further as a team than you do as an individual, lone wolf. Right. That's why wolves travel in packs.
Absolutely. This happened in New York with the textiles industry. You had many, many textiles pop up around the same time. Mm-hmm. It created a whole wave of immigration for people who knew how to sew, caused all kinds of job growth and all this kind of stuff. And there was a ton of competition, and New York became known as like this huge textile central.
And that's actually there's a good analogy for that. In New York, they have what's called the districting effect. So if there's one, say, textile store and it sits by itself, nobody goes there. But if 20 of them are right next door, everybody goes there, and everybody does better.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do with the Divi wallet, is by including all these other coins and having a kind of a one-stop shop for all that, and making it really easy to swap between them, and to make other coins user-friendly by sort of side chaining to Divi.
Yeah.
We basically help create an ecosystem that supports everybody and supports all of crypto.
I think this is the thing that maximalists don't understand. I think at a very fundamental level, they think that there has to be one to win. There's a very hierarchical kind of conditioning, I think, that happens in there that's very non-anarchistic, in my opinion.
It's very non-crypto, really.
It is non-crypto.
The whole philosophy behind crypto is not to take over and be the next big bank.
Why do you want to be the next central bank?
Right.
Okay, fine. If you believe that store of value is the most valuable thing, fine, you be that way and make that your coin. Okay,
right.
You can make it that way.
I've had a lot of Bitcoin maximalists troll me in different types of conversations, because when I first sit down and talk to them, they act like, oh, Divi, we're trying to compete with Bitcoin, and they all want to know what you have to offer and stuff. And the way to calm them down is say, don't worry, I believe Bitcoin will always be the biggest coin and the most valuable, that will be worth tens of trillions of dollars.
There can only be one.
Yeah.
But there's also going to be a whole bunch of other coins that'll exist at the same time. But don't worry, Bitcoin will always be number one. Once you acknowledge that, they'll actually willing to listen to everything else. You just have to feed their ego a little bit.
Well, and I think that's a good tactic, because I think that what you're doing there, I suspect, is that you're acknowledging, so a lot of people, they think that you think the way they think. Right? So they assume that because they are maximalists for Bitcoin, that you are maximalists for Divi. Right? That's just the way they think of it. Unless you bridge that gap, then they won't have. It's just they're button heads, because they're assuming that you're coming from their standpoint.
Yeah, I just tell them, look, we're going to help make Bitcoin user friendly in a way that it isn't right now, and this is going to help make Bitcoin worth tens of trillions of dollars in the future. And now they're starting to listen, and they're like, well, how are you going to do that? Sounds cool.
Yeah.
So,
I say, by the way, the fractalization of niches. You're going to get all into these edge niches with these various kinds of thousands of different coins that serve specific markets with their specific needs, and allow people to pick up plastic and recycle it and put their kids in school, right? These are the random things that are going to happen in this space. Bitcoin's not interested in doing that and making that happen. But what's that? I think it's called plastic coin or something like that. That is actually doing that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And there's all kinds of coins that are specific, for that market, for that purpose, for that reason, for that value. And,
is it on the POP protocol or the proof of petroleum? No,
I'm not familiar with that. Is that a real thing?
I don't know. Sounds like something for plastics. So.
Yeah, you had me.
Yeah, sounds like if it produces value, somebody's going to want it. Or
corned beef.
Or corned beef. Yeah. Yes, I need a proof of corned beef. POCD coin.
Katz's Deli coin.
Oh yeah. In Austin, but is there another one around?
No, it's New York City.
Oh, okay.
I'll have what she's having. Harry Met Sally. Yeah. That famous scene? No.
Yeah.
No. Sorry.
I remember the scene.
It's a great Reuben.
I remember that scene.
If you like Reuben's corned beef and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Get over to Katz's. And
gotcha.
I'm a Katz shill, actually.
All right.
Good. We need a Katz coin.
Exactly.
Well, and a lot of people are kind of going on this assumption that at some point in the distant future, everybody is going to have their own coin, and there may be some way to transmit reputation and invest in other people's value of individuals and their future and your children and all this kind of stuff. Maybe you're born with a certain amount of value because you're human. Welcome to the world, and you get these X coins because whatever.
Birth coin.
Congratulations, you're a human.
Why did you get this? It's your birthright.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, and I see all this kind of happening. Who knows how there'll be value, but there's
they
going to
do
be
already have that though. It's called your birth certificate.
Oh yeah. And I don't know who's selling that, but some people
Someone's
are selling
selling
that.
Well, every time you
On
need
the
a
dark web.
document, you got to go back down there and pay for another copy.
Oh yeah, the government. Yeah, they get that money. Boo.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we can wrap it up here. Thanks, guys. Jeff, I'm sorry, I forgot your last name.
McCabe.
Jeff McCabe from Divvy and Nick
Saponaro.
Saponaro from Divvy made some donations with the what was it, the Marsh
Children's Home.
Children's Home. That is kind of a pet project of Danny's right now. Thanks everybody for watching, and we will see you next time. Remember, all value is belief.
Corned beef.